Hello everyone, my name is Monkey and welcome back to another Monster Hunter Wilds video. Today I thought of showcasing my sword and shield builds, the main ones at least. Especially that title update one is basically over. So now we have the meta for the next title. Hopefully we can see, uh, what's his name? Legia Chris at the end of May. So let's get into it. Now I'm gonna start with the weapons because all of them are gonna be RTN weapons. At the current state of the game, you're gonna need to run mostly attack mods and attack reinforcements. So for my paralysis RTN sword and shield, I run the 3 attack mods, 4 attack boost reinforcement, 1 sharpness. For my ice, I have 2. One is mostly elemental boost, one is mostly attack boost. I got my speedrun on Raidao with the attack boost one, so because you also really need the sharpness. Have the speed with 4 attack boost, no sharpness. The sleep, the water with mostly elemental. The dragon with mostly elemental. The fire with mostly elemental, and the ice already saw. You already saw it. Blast 4 attack boosts, 1 affinity, and poison 4 attack boosts, 1 elemental. Generally, the best build for all of them is the 4 attack boost, 1 sharpness. You're gonna aim for this on every single element, every single status. But that's unrealistic, and you're not really gonna get there very often. So while I'm rolling for this, I got a lot of 4 element. I thought of making element strong weapons in case we get in the future some element weak monster. As far as craftables, we don't have much. I like the Raidao Sword and Shield, just aesthetically. It's not that good, but it does the job. The best one to craft is obviously the Zoshia Sword and Shield. It has White Flame Torrent, it has decent attack, it has decent dragon, and the affinity is 5%, so it works with all your sets that have 5% affinity from the RTN weapons. Another cool one looking is the Lalabarina Sword and Shield. It's very aesthetically pleasing. It has decent paralysis. It has absolutely horrendous skills. Don't use this except for fun. And lastly, if you're gonna try and use it, the Mizutsune Sword and Shield is very cool. It has slick blade. It looks fine. It's just sadly the skill is very shit, and you don't want to use that. Now, starting with the bread and butter of your sword and shield builds, the 4-piece Gormagala set. It's very efficient, very strong, and very consistent. The idea is basically of you're gonna use Black Eclipse 2 to gain your affinity, your 10 damage, your 10 attack, and you're gonna have the 5 agitator, 3 constitution, 3 counter strike, 3 maximum might, 3 antivirus. When you burst, and everything else is just in the set. I opted for shock absorber here, but when you're playing solo, opt for blindsider. Having flashes deal stay for longer or be more efficient is much better. As far as your weapons, if you are using the agitator set, you're gonna need to have the razor sharp skill because you can't ensure your affinity to be maximum for master's touch. But if you have razor sharp handicraft, it's gonna be great. I also run my guardian handicraft on my elemental on my paralysis sword and shield, and obviously the crit boost for extra damage. And now the other side of the bread and butter, which is the weakness exploit. Now, weakness exploit gives you more consistent affinity on the weak point, and especially because we have great mobility in the sword and shield, you can easily target the weak points and never losing sharpness or nearly never losing sharpness using Master's Touch. It grants you an 80% chance of no sharpness loss while active when you're hitting weak spots. This set runs Weakness Exploit 5 instead of Agitator 5, but loses out on the Counter Strike 3. Instead, you have the Agitator 2, which is still decent damage. 8 damage is not nothing to scoff at, and 5% affinity is cool. But generally speaking, Counter Strike is better, and that the Agitator build is more general purpose, while this is more of a speedrun ish type of deal, depending on the monster, of course. Here are the decorations: 2 Sane, 3 Tenderizer, 3 Mighty, 1 Chain, and the Shock Absorber also can be switched to the Blindsider, same as before. As for the weapon, you're gonna run the Crit Boost 3, the Guardian Handicraft, and the Mastery for paralysis. Now we get into the sets with the new HE Raidao set, mostly for Guts Tenacity, which, if you don't know, raises your attack and boost and lowers your defense, and gives you a Guts ability, which is mostly like Wake Moxie, where you have a threshold on your HP bar, and if your HP is more than that, you can't die in a one-shot hit. But once you lose it, your defense is boosted and you lose the attack. Anyway, it consists of the Zoshia head, Zoshia chest, Raidao uh, arms, Raidao waist, and Raidao legs with the power chart. The set has Agitator 5, Latent Power 5, Maximum Might 3, Stun Resist 3. You have 2 extra level 3 slots. I chose to add Flare, just why not, you know? Sword and Shield is great with wounds. So, Vedic Thunder 2, 1 burst. And here I add the Blindsider. Obviously, you can change it to Shock Absorber. Same thing. And Recovery Speed 1. This set is quite versatile for group play. Generally speaking, this isn't a solo set. You can use it in group plays with any elemental weapon or any status weapon, to be honest. It's just instead of Guardian Frost, you're gonna use Guardian Handicraft. Instead of Razor Sharp Frost, you're gonna use Razor Sharp Handicraft. Crit boost stays the same. And now the elemental build. Elemental attacks are very weak in Monster Hunter Wilds so far, mostly because of the end game having low hit zone values for the elemental damage. But generally speaking, element absorption is an amazing skill for elemental builds. It helps you deal more elemental damage to more elemental damage weak monsters, but it's not very reliant because you need to take damage. And more importantly, you need to take elemental damage. If you want to try it, though, it's great to try with latent power because you're obviously taking damage. And so I made up this list that has obviously Guts Tenacity. It has the Zoshia Super Recovery 1 with the Raidao Thunderous Roar 1, so latent power can be longer. Running latent power 5, weakness exploit 4, counter strike 3, maximum height 3, element absorption 3, 1 burst, and the other ones are random, except in this set I run both shockproof and flash jewel. I suggest if you don't like either of those skills, you can add like free meal 2 or speed eating 2. Those are very consistent and strong skills that you should look into even in solo play. Now, lastly, we have the support build. A lot of people that came from other games like to play Sword and Shield in a support manner, but on this channel, we hate corner supporter. Some call them corner dooters for the hunting horn. What you're gonna need to do is have enough damage to contribute and also have enough support to be able to get your friends out from the pinch. So the idea is not to run Mushromancer, not to run any defensive focused uh, skills at the cost of offensive skills, but to have a bit of a both. So you're dealing enough damage to be there, but you're also supporting enough so your friends don't need to lessen their DPS to heal on stuff. The set is Zoshia head, Sealed coat, Zoshia arms, Zoshia waist, and Zoshia legs with the gluten charm or glutton charm. Glutton charm is good because it's a 3 slots in one, which is very decent. Set runs at Agitator 5, Wide Range 5, Maximum 3, sorry, Element Absorber 3, Speed the Eating 3, and Free Meal 2, Burst 1. Everything else is from the sets. I tried to add in Counter Strike, it just doesn't work. You can add here the second Counter Strike, you can't add the third one, and without 3, Counter Strike is not the best. Main idea of the set is to use regular potions, use regular potion like items, demon drugs, the dust of life, stuff like that. You have the wide range, it affects everyone. You have the speed eating, it does it quick. You have the 2 free meal, which is a quarter of the time you don't lose the item. Very good, very decent. But you're still running the agitator, the maximize the element absorption, the burst to deal enough damage to be there. Weapon skills don't change. This is the best compromise between the two. This is the most comfy I felt in playing in a group as a support. I don't feel useless. I don't feel just like wasting all my mushrooms on mushroomancers, on my potions without dealing any damage. I'm actively contributing and I can quickly heal everybody, especially after a big hit. Big hits are very telegraphed, and generally speaking, you can just look if somebody got hit in the big hit. Other smaller hits, you cannot heal immediately. And so, these are the main sets that I use basically on a daily basis for Sword and Shield. I don't use the support one very often. Support one is mostly used, in my opinion, in a voice chat situation with a group. So someone can tell you, no, I need the healing, heal me please. Because keeping an eye on everyone's HP, your HP, the monster's movement, wounds, your combos is gonna get a bit overwhelming. So I'm not a big fan of this playstyle. But in a voice chat situation, everybody can keep up his HP, and when they need help, they can obviously tell you. You have your radial wheel for menu items. But other than that, I would stick to 4-piece Gormagala for now, or try the elated power builds, even though I'm not a big fan of it. In any case, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.